Maple Pass Plant Restoration Project is a partnership between the Forest Service and the Park Service to basically eliminate social trails up at the Maple Pass Loop, but also to revegetate the land.
So this trail gets, something in the neighborhood of about 10,000 visitors a year from all over the world. And it's written up in all the trail books is if you have one day to hike in the North Cascades, this would be the trail. People love these places to death and they don't understand the ecology and what's happening to the plants because of their love of these places. And that's what we want to change.
A lot of the project includes basically blocking off social trails. A social trail is an area that a hiker has created, or multiple hikers over the years has created, basically an indentation in the land that deviates from the original trail. And oftentimes folks that don't know the area get lost and they follow these social trails and then find themselves in the middle of a bog or under a stand of trees and they have nowhere to go. They don't know where the trail is, so they just kind of wander around for a little while.
We are going to put up some educational signs defining this as a restoration area. We're going to rope off some areas and do some active planting and restoration of the native plants in hopes that people will see what it should look like.
Forest Service is the one coming up with the funding through the National Forest Foundation through a project called Treasured Landscapes.
The Methow Valley Ranger District was nominated as a treasured landscape through the National Forest Foundation. There are several different areas, and the Highway 20 corridor has Heather and Maple Pass as a restoration area through the treasured landscape, Blue Lake, and also Cutthroat Lake and Lake Ann as well. So there are a number of different areas that we're going to be restoring.
So these social trails are eroding the land. They are unfortunately stomping on the natural plants that grow in the area.
So the heather is extremely fragile to trampling, and something like 25 steps is enough to kill a heather plant. So, and considering that these communities are thousands of years old.
We also want to look at a better way to create the trail. Is the trail in the best spot? Should we move the trail? Are users going a certain way because it is much better to hike, or are they just looking for a different view?
So we're wanting to keep a lot of the view areas open, the lunch spot areas that people, you can tell that they're popular just by the amount of social trails that are going in and out of them. And we want to keep a fair amount of those open because it makes sense. We want to leave places for people to enjoy the view up here. And so the trails that don't make sense are in between these view spots. They run either parallel and they connect them, or they just run perpendicular through them and are just kind of, every 5 feet. And so that doesn't make sense. And those are the areas we're going to be targeting.
We're collecting propagules, we're collecting seed, we're collecting cuttings, berries, and the North Cascades. The park, National Park Service, it's got a greenhouse and expertise on growing out alpine plants. And so they are going to be growing out heather and huckleberry and partridge foot and some potentillas and some of the native grasses in the area.
I believe the target is about 5,000 cuttings and a few more gallons of seeds and berries from the vaccinium. It's going to take about 3 years for the plants that they have collected to grow to a mature enough level that they can replant them into the different areas up at Heather and Maple Pass. The different plants that we're hoping to plant will do different things. So the heather is one of the most important plants for that area, but it takes quite a while for them to create a really good root system for them to hold down the soil and to anchor themselves in. So some of the other plants are going to basically assist in that process. Like some of the grasses put down extensive roots, and the mountain ash also puts down extensive roots. But some of these plants just kind of get big, and the bigger they get, the more likely that folks are not going to want to walk through them. So the mountain ash, for example, kind of gets like a big bushy shrub sort of thing, a lot taller off the ground than the really short heathers. And we're hoping that those big bushy shrub sort of things can indicate to folks that, you know, this isn't an area that we want you to walk through, please stay out. And same thing with a couple of the other plants.
Recreationalists in this area just have a love for the outdoors. It's a hard spot to get to, it's a tough climb, and I think that people, once they know what we're trying to do, will be better educated about these alpine areas and how easily they can be damaged.
I've come to find the plants up there just stunningly beautiful, some of the most beautiful plants I've seen, and it's amazing to me that those plants only have 3 months out of the year to be out of the snow. For the rest of the 9 months they're covered by snow. I really want to show people that this spot is beautiful and it's worth protecting so that your children can come back and see these same flowers 30 years from now. The Forest Service and Park Service are always looking for volunteers. If you're interested in scrubbing out buckets or weeding or doing anything like that, the Park Service would love to have you down at the greenhouse in Marble Mount. If you are interested in going up to the pass itself, maybe to collect cuttings, that's also something that the park does, or maybe you're interested in doing different monitoring projects, you can jump in with the Forest Service